to another amazing episode of Failure Diaries. I'm your host, Precious Kate, and with me is our co-host,
Ayo Bankole. It's nice to be here again.
Today we have an amazing guest who is
Pamilerin
Pamilerin Adegoke. Pamilerin is an entrepreneur, is a marketing
professional, influencer, politician, etc., and controversial individual, aka Omoya Ologi. Welcome to the set. Welcome to the set.
I've never been politician yet. But the things I go, I don't get
Bam, you dey roll with governor. You dey dine and wine with the decision maker. You be politician. What's it be politician again?
Bam, this place is a safe space. You can
You
show
be like make
yourself.
Elon Musk. You be like make Elon Musk tell us say you no be politician.
I know that's what I was. So,
You dey whine us.
Ogawani,
We need people. We need outsiders in politics to disrupt things globally. To be honest with you.
yeah.
So Pam, welcome to
Thank you.
the Failure Diaries TFD. We've seen a lot of podcasts these days. I mean, everybody's talking about fancy lifestyles, gossip. Everybody sees the bands, the nice enjoyment, the travels, but nobody really sees the failures behind. The nights of pain, of struggle, of obstacles, of setbacks, and how one bounces back and all of that. And the truth is that a lot of these young people have tried to walk the journey that you've walked. They will face all of those challenges and they will give up, or they would get depressed. Then go think, say, maybe you had it lucky, or think, why is things working for me like this? And I should be not familiar with that. So we came up with this podcast so that we can share those other side. People can see the other side of things. That forget say we dey take photography. Taba struggle. If you look at Taba ton camera, we go struggle to amen. But we don't show the world that, right?
Yeah, true.
So the essence of this podcast is to have those conversations. So let's start from your story. I know that, in fact, I will come to the question. I know you've had a lot of issues, on social media, that has turned into your own benefit. But let's even start with you. What does failure mean to you, and how did you get here?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Ayo, and thank you,
Precious.
Precious, for having me. Yeah. So, I would say, for me, I'll use an example. And I always tell people, growing up, the fact that you really want to be something, doctor, lawyers, and all those things. But for me, I had no idea what I wanted to become. So I went to study marine engineering because my dad wanted me to be an engineer.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cliche.
More fathers are wanting their kids.
It's
to
not
be
just
engineers.
Engineers, doctors.
ordinary engineering now, marine engineering.
Right.
But after school,
And you studied it
And I
for
studied
him.
and I
You can't go
studied
give
it,
him the
certificate.
Baba.
Yeah, okay, but Shaitan, yeah, I'll take it too. But guess what? That was when I realized that I failed because now what do I want to do with my life? I had no idea. So I just went to school like I just went to school.
So you had fulfilled his own dream.
No, with me, mine was empty.
Exactly.
So where do I
yes.
start from? That was the moment I realized that there's a problem.
You
You get, because I now have to start thinking of what do I want to do with my own life. First of all, I don't like engineering. I love engineering, but I don't like the type of engineering I study because I have to be on water. But if I'm not on water, I have to work with massa. And working with the massa is connection.
Yeah, of course.
In this country, the
Massa
massa
is crazy.
In
Yeah.
Apapa. Working there, you have to know who knows who. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Yeah.
If you don't have connection in this country, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
It's just 0.1% that are lucky to get it.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, if I don't work at the massa, that means I have to work on sea. I have to work on board. But it's not possible. I don't like seawater. I don't like seafood. At that point, mo jẹ kiss and seafood.
Nǹkan mo wá wò pé kí ló wá ń fowó ṣe nígbà tó o bá jẹ seafood.
I don't like fish.
Ìyá ọ̀dà ọlọ́run ṣàánú mi ó lé àdín like seafood. Mo fẹ́ wò pé kí ló wá ń jẹ pọ̀nmọ́ àtẹja kíká.
Alápọ̀ nísìnyí mo jẹ kísà.
Wọn bí ẹ̀dá kan máa jẹ seafood. Kọ́lọ́ ṣàánú.
So I said to myself,
Bọ́bá tí ò dáa photographer yóò mọ̀.
ìyá ọmọ mo ṣí. Wọ́n fún mi seafood.
Mama de calamari.
Kí ni kò ṣe oúnjẹ ọ̀bọ?
Voila, you go purge that year.
So that was it for me. And I had to now start thinking, okay, what do I do next? No, that was the turning point for me. So that was my first failure. Am I failed again after that? Okay, but didn't failure come on. But there's the later here.
Okay, later here. Okay, I'm so. So at what point did digital come to you, or did it just emerge? At what point did you realize that, because I won't even lie to you, the way you have rebranded and consolidated on being just pamper. Even your messaging, your content online, everything just transformed. You know, how did you do that? When did it evolve? When did you realize that, okay, this is what I want to do and this is business?
Okay, so at that point where I was trying to reevaluate myself and okay, what do I do next? I started going for conferences. I did photography. I did blogger. I work at Bella. I was supposed to work at Bella. I passed interview. My uncle didn't allow me to go look for me. You will not work there. Cooley house job. I always tell everybody. He said that he sees a lot. I don't know the vision he saw that me I did not see.
All right.
At that point, you know, I work with Kola. I work with Kola. Kola is a big time photographer. You know, I learned a lot. Then I started going for conferences. You know, all those like your conference.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I started going for it. So there was one I went for at the hotel. It was on digital. Along bar, but guess what? I went. I listened to everything they said. I could not understand anything. But I sat. So living like every other conference I was going for, I just saw everybody talking to one man. It was on white, and celebrities were all over him. I was like, who's this person? Then after the all left, he was walking, and I went to meet, and I said, sir, I don't know what you do, but I would love to work with your company.
Wow.
They asked for my name.
Are you serious?
I asked for, what did you study? So I said, my engineering. He said, oh, okay. Then he gave me an appointment. Guess who that man was? Ayo Bankole Samuel. ATG.
Wow.
So I met him in 2014, Neck Life. Then he asked me to come. Then I went for an interview. What I thought was an interview. Maybe God, guess what? God went ahead of me because I did not do an interview. He really asked me, because I felt sick. I even went there late because I felt sick. Actually, I'll tell you how it happened. So I was supposed to go for interview on a Monday. Guess who fell sick on Saturday? Me. Guess what? I not get well until like Thursday. Then I went the next Monday that I had no interview. I had no appointment.
Now you didn't have any appointment,
So
I missed your appointment.
Yeah.
So I was there from 8:15 because I got there early till 6:45 when he was leaving. So it was when
From
he was.
morning all the way.
I waited though.
No appointment. now, so you
And
had to wait.
BHM, they had coffee,
Exactly.
they had biscuit. I mean, I was trying to eat everything I saw that day. At their
the one that you
reception. I was trying to eat everything. So when he
Exactly.
was working, and I said, sir, good. He still wore white again that day. That was when I realized that, he wears white regularly. And I said, sir, went on. For God, he remembered me. And he said, your name, Pamilerin. I said, but you have an
And
appointment.
the name is actually catchy.
I think that's one thing I'm
work for
lucky.
you.
I'm lucky for.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm proud that my parents gave me that name.
One has to be careful how you name kids. You
To be
know,
honest, I think it really worked for me.
Because the name is so
does.
catchy.
It does. I mean, look at Good Luck.
It's not something you forget.
His story as well. You know, and it was like, he's running out of time. Maybe that's why he's not asking interview questions. They were just, come. It went upstairs. They said, do you know what we do? I said, I don't know. So I don't mind learning. They said, okay,
Wow.
you are going to be an intern for a couple of months. Go to the next office, go and meet the HR. They went to meet the HR.
Wow.
The HR said I should go for medicals the second day. So I interned for 7 months. So I learned everything I know today in that 7 months.
Oh, so you intern as a digital
Marketer.
Are you serious?
So I had no background. I had no knowledge about whatever they do there.
I thought it was just on Twitter that you
No.
learned.
So I worked at BHM for 3 years, 2014 to 2017. So I work at PR, I work at digital, I work at ID Africa Creative. You know, I think the only company I did not work is finance. They don't trust me with money.
Oh, boy.
So that's the only department I did not intern. So I was writing at NetNG. I was doing graphics design at ID Africa. I was doing PR and digital at BHM. I was doing media monitoring. Then David, he was my colleague at BHM. You know, David used to work with Net far back 2015, 2016. So he was my colleague at that point. So that was where I learned everything I do today in 7 months. Then I was retained.
Wow.
You know, and our salary they were one of the best, highest paying then.
Wow.
You know, KPMG. They were paying a lot. As an intern, as of 2014, I started collecting 75,000 as an intern. Then my salary was moved to 285. As a
285.
fresh.
Wow.
Yeah, March 2015, my salary was moved to 285. By November, they moved my salary to 348.
Wow.
Then I left BHM in 2017 with 420.
What?
You know, I'm just hearing, I'm happy that we came up with this podcast because I don't think that a lot of people even know.
Maybe
this
not a
story.
lot of people know I did
Because-
9 to 5 at some point.
I feel like when it
I
comes
don't
to
think a lot
Twitter,
of
people
people-
just feel, it's just one faceless person that is just typing whatever he wants.
I have had conversations
Yeah.
because Pamilerin has been at, my SME boot camp a couple of times. And I've had people legit say, Pamilerin, I know him, but what does Pamilerin
does
going
he-
to tweet about?
exactly.
He's not a Twitter. And I'm like, have you listened to Pamilerin talk? I don't think that a lot of people know that you actually went through a professional tutelage.
I don't think a lot of
Yes.
people know that I
Digital.
don't just do Twitter. That I handle a
Exactly.
proper company.
Yes.
Exactly.
But because I don't usually talk about most of these clients I work with, I do consultation for most of them.
Wow.
Even the politicians I work with, I rarely talk about them.
Yeah.
Aside from the Enugu one that everybody know about because I was fully present in Enugu. Yeah, aside from that one, I don't really talk about people I consult for.
So after you left, or even since you left that place up until now, what has your journey then been like? What were the biggest setbacks and challenges that you've had?
I would say leaving first of all because I did not leave willingly.
Oh.
So March 2017, same Mr. Yeni called me to his office, and he said, "If you don't quit today, I'm going to sack you." And I'm like, "Why?" He said, "It feels like I'm not challenged anymore. That there's no zeal anymore. That I've seen it all. That he wants me to go, try being on my own for 3 months, and if I don't make it, they will double my salary."
Wow.
No, for 6 months. He said I should go for 6 months. That boy will still be giving me money, but maybe not my actual salary. But I will not work with them. That if I don't make it in 6 months, they will double my salary. I swear to God, I left the office that day with the fact I will not go and make it.
Wow.
Because
So I feel like he actually saw your
basically, I only saw everything that I did not see.
that you did not see.
He said if they don't,
Where is the man now?
Ayeni still BHM, Black House Media.
Wow.
Ayeni Adekule Samuel.
I know him,
He's
but
an Ayo's friend.
I don't know say the man still dey active inside the industry. I
No,
thought
he's
he had
super
moved
active.
over.
He's super active, but he just step back a bit for other people to
Well,
manage.
Because I know
shine,
that,
yeah.
Yeah, and he's in London, BHM London, so that's why.
Wow.
So I left with the fact that I was not going to make it. Guess what? It was on a Friday. Monday morning, guess who dressed up? I went to work. Me. That was when I realized that, I don't even have access card anymore. I'm at sack here. Then I went back home. Then I started thinking, so what do I want to do? First 1 month, I was really spending my salary.
But how did you
And
feel at that
vibing.
point?
So it got
did you
on
know
me.
at that point that was the next level, or you just
I still did not. Don't forget, I left with the fact that I was not going to make it.
exactly?
So there's no next level. I'm going home like I will not make it. So I can get
In your
double
mind, it
salary.
had finished.
Exactly.
I'm
You
going
were
to get double
finished.
salary in 6 months because I wish I would not make it. I did not make it. So you
Yeah.
have to double my salary. But it's just so crazy that I think the second month, somebody just texted me and said, "Oh, there's this brief, Pepsi. You want to work on it?" I'm like, should we pay our Kakashi?
Mhm.
I'm actually document, blah, blah, blah. And the influencer campaign, and it was just 2 days campaign. I did the
So by then, you
strategy.
already had your own following online, or
Yes.
you were emerging online.
Yes, I already
then.
had that already while I was still at BHM. But what I even did for these clients was a PR
Strategy.
strategy, and they paid me 6 million. I'm like, no, we should 95 more.
But this
So
is
that was-
million wakpo.
So that was the turning point. Like if I can make this in 2 days,
yes.
that's like 4-5 months of my salary. Then I
So
need
did
to
you
focus
reach
on
this?
this.
So did you get to the 6 months benchmark?
Me that I started making the second month.
Oh yes, now because I mean,
Nice, because I needed to
so
know
did you
that.
go back to him to tell him?
No, I did not.
Ah.
But so one thing I like him for, he checks up.
Wow.
So how's it
Ah.
going? So what this? Do you need this? I'm not sure. I've gotten this. I've gotten that. I work with you. He said, okay, you're good. So
You know-
he saw what I did not see.
You
I
see,
think it's rare now.
yeah. I mean, I think it was. I can't remember which of our guests said it, that a lot of young people are not making it because people who should mentor them are busy
I'm in
fighting them.
competition with them. Yes.
You know, and I think that a lot of people leaders who are able to provide a shoulder for their subordinates to ride on, either in their system or outside their system, they are very rare to find.
They
to
are.
be honest,
They
you
are.
know, and that's what the work that we do in our business. We try to change the mindset of entrepreneurs to say, look, your people are your assets. Either they are inside or outside. You don't have to keep them in here for you to know that they belong to you.
Yes.
This is a very interesting story. So what was the next point? You said that was the very first point of failure. So after you overcame that, what was then the next?
I think the first time when I first left BHM, then I was like, so what do I do next? Then I got depressed for weird reasons. I don't even know how it happened. I just know that.
Was it
I was
before or after you
conscious
made the 6 million?
before. But you know that I was conscious of what was happening to me. I went on Google and I searched for depression posts.
Wow.
Guess what? Even the way I posted it, I arranged it. More like graphics by Jebaje. I posted black, then white, then black on Instagram. Around 2 a.m. And it was raining. So I had no idea what was happening. I even stood up, I left my room, Went to the kitchen, picked up knife. So I was conscious. I knew everything that was happening. But I just know I had a knife in my hand. I went back to my room. I was playing loud music and I was posting on Instagram. And people were calling me and I'm seeing posts like I'm just laughing. And I switched off my phone.
Wow.
So I could not tell what was going on. Then apparently everybody was trying to reach me. Olori Super Girl was scared. Adekunle Gold was scared. So they found a way to come to my house from the island. They broke my door to come in. I had a roommate. My roommate did not realize what was happening.
What year was this?
2017.
2017.
April. My roommate did not even realize what was happening. He just said that people were calling him. Ó kàn rí bí 15 minutes kò lóru àgbà tó jọ pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Then I was when I realized that ó fẹ́ parẹ́.
And you were actually holding a knife.
I was holding a knife. They met me with a knife and I was laughing. So till today I could not tell what was going on, what happened at that point. But I knew I was very conscious because for me to post black, white, black.
So what did they do to you? How did you snap out of that depressive state?
They just Pamilerin. I said what's happening? What are people doing here? And that was it. Then Olori took me home. Then we spoke. So I think at that point I needed someone to actually talk to me.
Support system is extremely important.
So I was in
cannot be
Olori Super Girl's house for
underrated.
like 2 days. We spoke, and that was it. And she said, you can actually do this thing you are doing before. I was like, so how do I get the clientele and all those things? It's hard because I know how when we're going for presentations at BHM, it's a big company. So how will a one-man start, whatever. So that was it for me. Olori Super Girl talking to me about that, and Adekunle Gold was not even in Nigeria. I flew back the second day from France.
Adekunle Gold flew back just because of that post.
Because he was scared, and I was his brother. So I think that was the turning point for me. So I needed someone to actually talk to me, because there was no INE.
Yeah.
So that was it for me.
So Mr. Ayeni left a gulf or a vacuum.
A vacuum.
That you then needed somebody to talk to, but you were not
feel it.
sure who to talk to, and you were just taking it in, and then you lost it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when we had our hangout, our community hangout last week, two people, when we were talking about something that is special to them, and they were saying that they love friendship, that they love genuine friendship, that it enriches them. I didn't understand it. I think now that you are sharing this story, it's resonating again because we undermine the importance of genuine friendship.
Yes. So imagine that night you posted that thing.
And nobody
came.
Or nobody who called you.
Whatever happened, I would not have known.
Yes, you would never have known. Because a lot of people have been discarded like that. They just feel like, I mean, you just post and who cares? So it just goes to show how deep depression can be.
So after that conversation, how did you bounce back? So is it that you were then working with other people?
So I started working with other people. I started having clients. We have a campaign.
Okay, they will start calling you for gigs.
Yes, they start calling me for gigs. And one thing is, I think I can say I've never reached out to a client before.
Oh, they always reach out to you.
I have never for once.
So I think that thing that happened in 2017 was like it's skyrocketed.
Yeah.
That was the inflection point.
Yes, that was the inflection point. Who was the person that called you for the 6 million naira gig?
Baba no one declare. How about 6 million? No plenty again now. How about?
Yeah, I always
You
was
don't collect like 600 million, 6 billion.
Ayo.
Okay, sorry, we are there. Maybe no cast. So, but it's a good one that because I want young people to be able to understand these days. It's not by having.
Are there genuine friendships these days?
Yeah, they are genuine friends.
A couple I've had, I still do.
Yes.
But they say 10 friends cannot pay for 10 years.
Yeah,
Exactly.
10 years.
Yeah, I think I had a phase last year. My friendships with people, I moved from like having 100 friends to having 5 friends.
But 5 solid friends at least.
Intentionally.
Success has many
Intentional.
friends. So
Yeah.
it's you that need to now
I discarded a
know.
lot of people.
Yes.
What was the parameters that you used to discard people? Maybe I should adopt that.
So, to be honest, I just started saying, you know what? I don't want to be friends anymore. I don't want to be friends anymore. I'm like,
No, but what does that mean? Does that mean we are not talking again, or
No,
I
does
Does
delete
that
your
mean
number?
that I don't need them for anything? Or
trust me. See. And the annoying thing was, when I was doing all those things, I felt like, oh shit,
So are you removing? So for example, how are you friends before? Is it that you hang out or you are in the same WhatsApp
We
group?
talk about a lot
What
of
about
things.
sometimes?
We talk about personal stuff. We go out together. Some people will travel together.
Oh.
But at that point, I said, nothing. Even when we meet at parties, at events, how have you been? I will keep it moving.
Wow.
But why?
I don't know.
Were you
I think
first?
you were going to say something earlier.
Yes, because I was saying it like a lot of times we call everybody friends.
Yeah, we
But
should now
not-
define
yes,
it.
like,
So I think that was what I did.
Yeah, so like, we need to get to a point in life where
We are defining
define
it.
things.
Oh,
This is my
acquaintance.
This
This
is
is my
my
business.
colleague. This is my travel buddy.
Yeah.
They are different from friends. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what he was trying
So
to
that was
do.
what what happened to me.
Yeah.
You know, so I felt like, I'm going to miss this person. But guess what? I did not miss this person.
Yeah,
These
because
people.
they were really not
Because they
adding
were
any
really
value.
not.
So they were just
yes.
occupying space. You know,
And
that
the
was
way
it.
our mind works, all these friend here and there, they all occupy mental space.
Exactly.
To be
Mental,
honest.
emotional space.
Space.
If you're a religious person, spiritual space.
Mm.
You know, I mean, some of us are not as religious as that, but yeah, I mean, I know that is a reality for some people.
But my Lord Church, am I right?
No, I mean, I go to church.
Mm.
I teach in churches.
Oh, that's
you and
good.
I have shared podium before in churches.
In churches, but are you a
trust
born
me.
again Christian?
I'm a born again Christian. What do you
Are
mean?
you?
I've been baptized a couple of times.
It's not about baptism. A
Uh-uh.
couple of times.
So
Why
what
a
else?
couple
I
of
did
times?
this. Like, why not once?
I'm not the are you? Am I? Are you interviewing me? Oh, I'm interviewing
No,
you.
you don't have baptism this year.
No, that was why when I was in the world.
Are you
Now
not?
I'm No, no. Pamilerin, please cut
Oh, no,
this.
I like you like the word.
I am no longer in the world.
Ah, you are lying to people.
What do you define by world?
So what's your own definition of word before?
No, the world
What
was
did
when
you
I
use?
didn't know better.
So after
now-
the
Before I
10
found
times,
Christ.
after the 10 times that you got baptized,
Not 10 times now.
How did you find
Maybe
Christ?
3 or 4.
How did you find Christ? You know, okay, this is Christ.
Because I was in the presence of God.
So
How
because
else do
of-
people find
you're in
Christ?
front of who?
You
You
see,
go like-
I'm not the one on the hot seat here. You guys are trying to bully me into becoming the guest. I found Christ. Whether you like it or not, if you don't believe,
If
don't
you insist.
go to court.
But we both know you are still in the world. Let
No,
that be clear.
I'm no longer in the world. I embody
The Spirit of God.
the spirit of God.
Pastor
You know,
Hallelujah.
Pamilerin, I'm better than you. I mean,
I
I'm-
disagree,
I'm-
oh.
just because you are a protocol in church, I mean, what are you?
I
And
exactly.
welcome to church. Welcome to church.
Okay.
Welcome to church. Welcome to church. Ọjọ́ kejì, bàbá ń ṣe friends Pamilerin, wọ́n ń ṣọwọ́ sókè báyìí pẹ̀lú ọtí. Wọ́n ṣe màtẹ́rẹ̀ lùjà mẹ́rin.
What
We
has to be
outside.
done?
We outside. I was on my own when you started all these things, but it's okay. I hope Pastor B is not seeing this. But let's continue. Now I have. So we've had a you have had, I don't want to add myself, I think you especially have had a very interesting history on social media,
Yeah.
right? You've had situations where people would blast you that kini kan, your tweets are shallow, you are from Mushin, your money is kini kan, you are lying, you are this, you are that. But a very interesting part of it is, I'll ask you 2 in 1 so that I don't forget, because I'm not very smart, I may forget.
Really?
Now, now the first one is the one where they were dragging you that you are Omo Yaologi and that kini kan, you are forming this, your mommy is selling pa. How did that feel genuinely? First time, tell us the truth. I know you successfully flipped it, and it even became you changed
Your
your brand
slogan,
name to
yes.
it, and because nobody should be not proud of their parents' trade for crying out loud. What
And,
are the trader?
and that is what this podcast is about.
Yes.
You know, this podcast is about those things that you're being shamed about. We are here to listen to
Exactly.
it because everybody has a story.
Yes.
So
now.
honestly, I was hot for a minute. Like you guys, so I was hot for a minute though. You know that I was already I'm wicked. I was just typing my response to this person, you know, and I swear to God, if that person
It
does
was
not get
just one person
depressed,
that started it.
yeah. So it was even a random tweet that nobody saw. So one of my friends sent it to me. I was doing an outreach in Abuja. Was it in Abuja? And somebody said, "No, in Ibadan, your favorite influencer is busy sharing sanitary pads to girls, whereby his mom sells ogi mushin." That was the
So
tweet.
it was even from your own good heart of
Yes.
outreach. That your give
a girl child a pad.
Yes.
You know, and somebody,
So you're doing something good for the
Omo,
community.
enemy full everywhere for Twitter.
you know, so I didn't even say it, to be honest.
Twitter is a
So
mad
one of my
house.
friends just sent to me that, have you seen this post? That post had 0 engagement.
Wow.
But
So you could have easily ignored.
I could have.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, are you mad? Sorry. Are you? Then I was so pissed. I started typing. If you see, you don't get pissed too. If that person does not get depressed that night, it's Marco.
Yes.
Because Morolo Sile, I even downloaded his pictures.
Wow.
But my address here.
Wow.
because I was weak at that time. I'm not born again. I'm born again. I found Christ like
You've been baptized.
but my own is once.
I understand where you found Christ. You made more money. You know, when people get richer, they get closer to God. You know, the way they talk to God, hallelujah, hallelujah. It's not there you find Christ, but me, I found Christ genuinely. I became born again. What do you mean if I insist?
I'm not fighting you.
Okay, that's fine. Let's move on.
So after I was about sending it, and I'm like, but wait, does my mom not sell Ogi? To be honest, and Yogi, she says it's not like she's selling Ogi up and down. She does Ogi and sends it abroad.
Yeah.
Or in bulk, people buy in bulk.
Even if she sells it up and down, there's nothing to be ashamed about more somebody's parents.
And I just said to myself, why am I angry? After all, I promote other people's business.
Exactly.
Why can't I promote this woman's business? Then I deleted it. Then I did another thread.
Oh, you had already responded.
I almost responded.
But he didn't send.
So I canceled.
So you just had that light bulb moment.
Yeah. Then I reshaped that. Oh, my mom sells Mushe. If you want yellow, I change it yellow to something vanilla flavor, red, violet, something flavor, white, something flavor. Kineko, I changed my header to Omoyologi. Guess what? That went far. People started changing their header to Kineko Omoyalata, Kineko Omobabayleron, Kineko Omoya Onirin, Kineko so Omoya teacher. So people start changing their header. So it became a campaign.
Yeah, it became a campaign. I remember.
Random campaign. People started changing their header to what their parents do.
But how was it like actually being brought up by Iyologi?
So
in Mushin.
So yes, of my Mushin tell me to Papa Jawo ni ko se Musholosha.
Oh.
Most of my.
What's the difference between 6 and 9 dozen?
What's
the difference between 6 and 9 dozen?
I
know Isolo is the island. I grew up in Isolo.
Isolo.
What do you mean? I grew up around Barista's house. What do you mean?
You know that
close to Holy Savior.
It just really.
We never used to. Mushin was the disaster of the location.
What
do you mean? Because your head is not broken. I'm sure.
When they are fighting in Mushin, it doesn't get to us.
Any baba ìwé jẹ́ lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ lẹ́yìn tó bá ẹ mẹ́ǹdì gbogbo orí ẹ̀ bá ti là.
Tọ́ba ti ń jà Mushin kò ní tọ́jú wa o. Because VIP rẹ̀ láwa.
Okay. I believe you if you insist.
So how was life growing up in the VIP residence?
So for me, it was.
VIP residence.
So for me, growing up was basically normal. Because my dad is a pretty. I had a pretty press emotion. Okay. So I was lucky. It made me MD of his company very early when I was in secondary school. Yeah, so the moment I'm leaving school, I'm coming back from school. If I lie, I'm going to do lesson. Maybe to go and play with some of my friends there. From there, I go to my dad's office as the MD.
Yeah.
MD
Yeah.
MD don't want uniform. Don't want school uniform. That's office.
No, I change at home. Then go there to start. Then
so like an after school work. But because he's a guy's son, so clearly he will be in charge.
And I was so good. I was the best.
Yeah, because
they leave graphic designing for me. It's like, come, I approve everything that goes out. All the staff reports.
You see, this life,
so
opportunities. This guy, Malcolm Gladwell, wrote a book called Outliers. That there are no geniuses anywhere.
Yes.
People turn out to be who they will be because of certain exposure at an early age.
And I'll tell you what. Let me direct back to when I was in school. What my dad helped me. So when I got to school, I stopped collecting school fees when I was in 200 level. I'll tell you what I started doing. So I had a laptop. I was good with graphic designing. My dad was a printing press. So I started designing ID cards, department ID cards. So each department, you are paying 1,000 per ID card. And if I send it to Mushin, if it was a normal customer, they're probably printing it for 450. But because it's my dad's company, I'm the MD. It's 120 that we are printing it for, I will pay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had about 880 on each ID card. And in each department, we have nothing less than 1,000 students in each department. Now, calculate that by 8 departments. Then now, I'm now doing yearbook. As you guys they don't see me in school because they're always looking for me because they're looking want to collect ID card or department wants to do yearbook.
This guy don't kill me. Which time do you have to be reading book? You didn't want to be an engineer anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
You get. So I was able to. I started. So the money it was too much at that point. So I started seeing money early. Yeah, because I told my dad not to pay my school fees again. If I didn't come to the will link back me.
Wow.
Because I was making so much money.
Money.
From school, from yearbook, from ID cards.
And that came on from how you were molded
I
by your
was
dad.
molded because
Exactly.
I already have the background. And I was the best graphic designer in my school. They beat me now.
I think that all these conversations, something that has been reoccurring amongst all our guests since when we started this podcast has been the influence of parenting
Yes.
on children.
On children.
Yeah.
There are too many damaged people out there, too many people who have gotten it wrong or given up or not had certain exposures, and it's because of the parenting.
So
How-
one thing I also noticed about, how people flip their stories is because I see that stories and things that were supposed to make you turn out bad,
But
Yes.
people have turned them to positivity.
Yes.
Because, like we were saying about the other guest, at 13 you were selling. That could have easily been tagged child labor, but it made
Exactly.
that become,
His strength.
it's
It's the
strength.
same thing with him
Just
going
like
to
him.
the press.
Do you know what it feels like for a child to leave school? And in this era, let your child finish school, then from school change and
If
go
you
to
put
the
it on
office.
Twitter, they will insult you.
They will insult you.
They will say you are using your child for child
For
labor.
child labor.
Do you
but
know
look
that?
at what
some-
that has molded you into.
yeah.
So I feel like it now life throws us lemons. It now depends on what we want to do with it.
Yeah, if you want to say the lemon is bitter,
Or you want to
and
make
throw it away.
lemonade.
Or
We
you
don't even
want-
make lemon anymore. We package juice.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
and smoothie. Oh Lord. So let's talk about marital life. I know that you've also had different challenges, around that area. There has been all sort of allegations. People have said Pamilerin is gay. Pamilerin, you don't know anything. You are not on social media. What do you know?
I don't
Okay,
understand.
sorry. You are just selling motor on social media. You are
And
not-
private jets.
You are- Let's mention the other one. We will talk about it offline. So how has that influenced your personal relationships, and how have you turned that around? Because your story is always like two-faced. That's why I like inviting Pamilerin in lots of our events, because I literally see how he has evolved over
Yes.
time. He's literally, I don't think there's anybody who started off influencing on social media that has remodeled
yes.
consistently and evolved like Pamilerin, right?
Yes.
So how has that affected your own personal brand? How has it also then, how have you been able to evolve and manage it? And how does it make you feel at those points in time?
So at some point, okay, I'll tell you how the whole thing started. It started with my one of my close friends then. We travel a lot. We buy landlord Dubai share. When Dubai was Dubai.
Yeah.
So we tend to travel a lot. We'll take proper pictures. Our birthdays, we are shutting down cinema for our birthdays.
Yeah.
We are traveling for our birthdays. So people find like,
Where is
wait,
money coming
wait,
from?
no, this bromance.
like why is he
This
two
bromance.
boys?
Oh,
two guys
right,
traveling up and down.
right.
We are shutting down cinemas.
Oh.
We are buying expensive gifts for each other.
Yes.
Nigerians see it as it is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
Nigerians are not used to two friends.
You
If
get-
it was girls, they won't mind.
they
No,
won't
they
mind.
don't
But
mind,
two
yes.
boys, embarrassing soon.
But who is that friend of yours though?
Blame Leko Bamidele is a lawyer. He's a lawyer. He's even this person's friend. This other girl.
Olori.
No,
Foza,
Fuza.
yeah.
It's Fuza's friend. So they found it weird. Then they they're obviously gay. Two boys.
Oh, I didn't even know that's where it started from.
Emi
Wow.
Onidi won't care. In fact, there was a point in
Emma,
time.
continue.
There was a point in time somebody tweeted that said, "When are you going to tell your wife that you are gay?" Yes,
After
mo
you got
tell.
married.
Mo kọ́ tiẹ̀, mo sọ pé everyone I am gay, is that all? Ṣé máa move on?
Oh, so after you got married.
So now the whole gay thing is every year. It's yearly
but
ritual.
did the gay thing affect you in any way?
Not in any way.
Because
Because
I don't get thick skin.
Amy,
Yes.
in 20, how many years now?
Exactly.
I think that's another thing that young people need to have.
Thick skin.
Because
They
you
always
see-
talk.
Yeah, and challenges will always happen. And as you are succeeding, people would always throw things at you. Actual real challenges would even happen.
Exactly.
Talk more of all these ones that,
That are
doesn't
hearsay,
exist and it's just people.
rumors.
So if you don't get that thick skin, some people, this allegation of gay can just make them depressed and they just start losing everything.
Wait, I said that gist of us last list. I said if I don't make that batch A, I will have been offended. Because popular girl, I want to I said if they put me in batch B, I will be so offended.
Oh,
but guess
God.
what? I want batch A, our
What is
celebrities
wrong
in
with
it.
this guy?
So,
What is wrong
so
with
if
this
I don't
guy?
make that batch A, I will have been offended. Never think batch C, I be batch B.
Come back to it.
So we will check it,
Mommy
Tony.
like that.
Oh, it's work for money.
Problem here.
Oh, God.
Problem here. You better be twerk.
Oh, God. And you said you found Christ.
I found Christ now.
Ayo,
Oh.
we don't judge. We listen, we don't
We
judge.
listen, we don't judge.
I judge you on the phone.
No. We listen, we don't judge. You see
listen,
that
we
judge
don't
me.
judge.
Both of you try to judge me.
No,
We
for
don't
me,
judge.
we listen. I'll judge you later.
Oh my God. I mean, this is really interesting because because I like to extract those key points for young people. People that are
Exactly.
watching these things, people are going through real life hustles.
Some people have been depressed over rumors, over
telling
things
you.
that people have just coined together,
Yeah.
and it
I'm
defines
telling
their
you.
life.
Mm.
You know, people
I
actually
am
break down
telling
and
you.
do not
And they
stand
start
up.
using drugs.
They start using drugs,
Their
start going into
businesses start
depression
going- yeah.
because of things that somebody who doesn't even care,
Who doesn't even know
who
them?
doesn't even know
They just cook
them,
up something in their eye
just
like,
coin something,
this
and
is
then
what you
place
are.
it on you, and accept you to carry it and just run with it.
Mm.
You know, so that's a very good thing you've done to be able to. I mean, somebody will call you gay and you're shaking twerkly. I mean, you know, you just,
Yeah, this 2025.
you know, I mean, in 2025, that's
So how so I've seen your, I mean, this is my last question. I don't know if Precious has another one.
yeah. I
I've
actually
seen-
have one because this thing. I just wanted to know. Sorry.
Let me let you go.
Yes, please let me go. Okay, fine. You have a thick skin for this. What about your wife? Have you been able to let her know that these things would happen? People will say things. Does she trust that? You know, because I mean, like there's some men that maybe if you say he's gay, say shape boy. Because I know what he does to me. Does she have that confidence in you that my man is not gay?
So
or
that's why it's
sometimes-
good to marry.
Kilo,
You marry.
what exactly are you trying to
Just-
do?
Don't worry.
Me or she?
Don't worry.
Okay.
So that's why it's
We
good.
don't judge.
No, what you judge me? But
I did not judge.
So that's why it's good.
Judge.
Okay, so I was joking. So that's why it's good to marry your friend. First,
Yes.
we're friends.
Oh, right.
Before we started cutting, we're friends for like 5 years.
Oh.
Before did relationship for 3 years. Yeah, and our 3rd year of marriage.
Can you imagine?
So we're
That's like over a
friends.
decade of friends.
You know, so my wife sees everything. In fact, sometimes she say, "Hey, why do you want to reply?" Small le ma pe me, ma reply. Sometimes you call, she back up post back way. She say the English is not sound enough. Oh Mary edit.
Two peas in a pod.
Wow.
Oh Mary edit.
Wow.
You know,
okay, that's
and another thing about her is, my wife is someone that she can just leave social media.
she doesn't really care.
She doesn't really care.
Yes.
In fact, I will not be the one that babe, blame you. Just find out load that got to social media. They drag somebody. What drag gele? What drag gele back a hair? Move on.
Yeah.
So marry your friend.
I'm telling you, just marry well.
Very well, true.
I mean, I was attention. I'm your my kuche. Mo do form to lose over to look to lose.
So go digga, yeah.
Got to cook.
We don't judge. We don't judge. We don't judge.
You are my shake. You
It is on that note, ladies and gentlemen, that we are bringing this to a close. We've gone to call a gold digger to our podcast. After you don't suffer. You know, but it's been a very insightful conversation. I mean, to be honest, I tell young people that you have to consolidate your position. You know, consolidate your balance sheet. You know, it's a good one to close on. We've had very, very insightful moments with Pamilerin. I thought that I was inviting people to share stories with our audience that maybe we already knew, but I am shocked. I'm telling you that I'm the biggest learner in this podcast. It's almost as if you guys are coming to be talking to me directly, and you know, me and Precious, because I didn't know all of these things that you're telling us, and I must really appreciate it. Pam always shows up for us anytime that we call, be it to speak at events outside Lagos, in Lagos, anytime, space, whatever we are doing. Pamilerin shows up in short notice, or even if you call him that day, he'll say, "Hey, why I'm showing up for you, no problem."
He's a friend of the family.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you so much. Please cut mine.